I just had this sense that I was going to preach.
Make your way in the land of the living.
I preached my first sermon in 1975. It seemed like to me the world came out, to hear me do this first sermon. My trial sermon was 99 and a half won't do. That was my beginning. And just went on from there. I was born here in Milwaukee. I grew up in a two-parent household. My parents had 11 children. Now I think about it, how we did that. We had all these kids, and there was one bathroom, and, like one kitchen table. And I don't know, maybe we ate in shifts, or the little kids ate first. It was kind of fun. So I was introduced to faith early, and my entire family, basically, we were always connected to church some kind of way. My family was going to Hopewell Baptist Church, and so I was at Hopewell. We just had to go to Sunday school. My mother made it like mandatory that we went to Sunday school if you wanted to go out to play, because if you didn't want to go to church, then you had to stay in the house. And so it was kind of like, I'm going, but it ain't because I just want to go. Me being a pastor is really kind of a divine anomaly for me, because when I was a kid, I always wanted to be in law enforcement. It was crazy. I always wanted to be a detective. But at the time, they had these shows like 77 Sunset Strip. I'm dating myself with this, The Naked City. It was just all type of detective and private eyes. And I just always wanted to do that, be that. Oddly, when it came time for to make that career choice, I became a firefighter. I don't know how that intersection happened, but there were no preachers in my family or anything to put me on that trajectory. So I just give it all to God.
I know that this man loves me, and I know that he knows that I love him. Don't you?
When did I meet Marilynn? Marilynn and I met
at Bethel Baptist Church. And our churches used to just fellowship together.
And so a friend of mine had become a member of Bethel. He told me they were going go-karting. So we all kind of went to go-karting, and she was there.
I don't know if it was love at first sight, but he got my attention. Yeah.
We've been married 46 years, and she and I have 3 children and 5 grandkids. In my heart of hearts, I always knew that I wasn't going to make a career as a firefighter. I had no aspiration. In the beginning, I'd say, Lord, I don't know anything about this. I always felt that I was a good enough preacher. I could go somewhere that was already established and running and just lead that congregation. But that wasn't in the plan, divine plan. That was my thought about it, but it wasn't God's plan. I shared with Marilynn that I felt the Lord wanted me to stay here and plant a church.
I think I was a little anxious and unsure, of course, of if I could really be a pastor's wife, or I just never thought of myself in that way. I didn't have any problem with it. My faith was established, and I knew who I believed in. I believed in ministry. It tied into just what I really liked, and that is, helping children.
And so we started this work, and it was at a good time, mid to late 80s, early 90s. We were in the Val Phillips YWCA in April 1985. By May, we outgrew the Y, and the Lord blessed us to get that property on Leon Terrace. And then the church had another growth spurt. At the time, around this property, you have the houses on the east and south of us. We have the school on the north side of us. This land was vacant. Why hadn't it been developed? Because the archdiocese owned this originally. They put a deed restriction on this land that said the only thing that could be built on this 9 acres is what stands on here today. You couldn't put a store here, you couldn't put an apartment here, you couldn't put a house here. The only thing that could go on this 9 acres was a church. So God was in it all the time.
I organized the school, and and in doing that, I didn't feel worthy or equipped. I needed to just talk to God about what I needed to do to put King's Academy in place. And the youth ministry became a passion of mine because I had an opportunity to work with the children personally. That was an experience that showed me what my purpose was and His plan for my life. I will always be connected to King's Academy and to the youth ministry and to singing, because I love to sing. So I'm doing basically everything I like to do.
I don't have any other, aspirations. I don't aspire to be anything else, to do anything else. It's been a good journey for me. I have a lot to celebrate, a lot to be thankful for. I have some regrets and some things. I haven't always made the right decisions, and I haven't always done the right things, said the right things. But I'm grateful that God, in spite of me, still was able to use me, or wanted to, not able to, that He still used me, flaws and all.
Something that they can say, well, I learned that from Mrs. McVicker. I remember when Mrs. McVicker did this. Just like Jesus left His life as an example, that's what I would like for people to remember about me, so that they can use that as an example. Ooh.
There'll be succeeding pastors from generations to come, but it had its origin with Marilynn and I. And so, this is what we'll leave. This is what we'll leave to the city of Milwaukee. This is what we'll leave as a legacy to kingdom work in this community. We'll leave this ministry.